You want to speak English fluently, but so many times you feel like you sound like a book. Book English is very different from real English. And today I'm going to help you, my friend, finally use real English. Are you ready? Well then, let's jump right in. Category number 1. The first category we're going to focus on is making requests. As an English learner, you're going to have to make requests, and you want to make sure you're making requests and sounding like a native English speaker. Here is the book English version of making a request. Would it be possible for you to assist me with this matter? Again, would it be possible for you to assist me with this matter? Now, this is grammatically correct, but it sounds like book English. There are 3 other ways to say the same thing using real English like a native English speaker. Here's the first option. Could you help me with this? You see how quick that was? Again, could you help me with this? You're still making a request, but you're no longer sounding like you're using book English. What about this option? Can you give me a hand with this? Can you give me a hand with this? This is a very commonly used phrase, a very commonly used expression. Can you give me a hand? So again, if you're making a request, and maybe you, my friend, want to ask somebody to help you if you're building something or you're trying to move something and you're asking for their help, you can say, could you give me a hand with this? And they will be impressed with your English. Here's the third option, again, when you're making a request. Mind helping me out with this? Mind helping me out with this? Or do you mind helping me out with this? Again, even as I'm saying it to you right now, it feels very comfortable. It feels like real English to me as a native English speaker. So when you start, as you're making requests, when you start using these options instead of the first one, you will sound more natural and more fluent. So 3 options for making requests. But what about this category? Category number 2. Expressing disagreement. You have your own ideas. You are an individual, an intelligent individual. And so you are going to want to share your ideas and your opinions in English, but you don't want to sound like a book. So if you're trying to express disagreement, now this is what it would sound like if you were using book English. I respectfully disagree with your assessment of the situation. Now again, I want to emphasize, my friend, this is grammatically correct. This is the perfect thing to say, let's say, in a business environment. It's not wrong. It just sounds very professional, like book English. Again, I respectfully disagree with your assessment of the situation. But if you are in a conversation with friends, just a regular relaxed conversation, and let's say you're discussing music or discussing your favorite movie, this is not the way you would say you don't agree with your friend. Here are 3 other options that sound much more natural. I don't think that's quite right. I don't think that's quite right. This is expressing disagreement, but in a more natural, real way. What about this one? I see it differently. I see it differently. You see what's happening, right? Again, the book English version is not wrong. It's grammatically correct, but it's not real life English or real world English, English that native English speakers use in real life. However, if you say, I see it differently, I'm telling you, individuals speaking with you will feel like your English is amazing because you're speaking like a real native English speaker. And here's a third option. Again, you might not agree with someone. You can say, I'm not so sure about that. Again, I'm not so sure about that. You're using real life English, again, to express disagreement. It continues, our third category, again, very important topics that you as an English learner will be speaking about. Describing the weather. This is category number 3, describing the weather. Now, you're going to get into conversations where you will describe the weather. Here is the book English version. The meteorological conditions are quite unfavorable today. I have never, ever said this, ever, in speaking about the weather. Now, it's not grammatically incorrect. It's grammatically correct, but it's not real English. Now, you'll see I have three options, and I actually put them on the screen already. The first option, real English. The weather's pretty nasty today. The weather's pretty nasty today. I'm telling you that the weather is not good. You can say this because it's real English. The second option, it's gross outside. Whoo, girl, it is gross outside. It's really not nice. Or you can say the third option, what awful weather we're having today. Now, I'll be very honest. This option sounds more like our British brothers and sisters, right? I have friends that are from Britain, friends that live in the UK. It's not wrong, it's real English, but I've never said what awful weather we're having. But it's still important for you to realize this is real English. If you speak to someone from Britain and they say this, they are using real English. All right? Again, we're trying to help you stop using book English, right? We are working together, all right? I'm giving you the options. I want you to stop using book English. Here we go. I'm trying to help you. Now, category number 4, expressing tiredness. My friend, you probably felt tired yesterday, right? Now, how are you going to express that in English using real English? Expressing tiredness. All right, so I want you to check out the first way of saying it, using book English. I am experiencing significant fatigue at this moment. This is grammatically correct. I'm going to continue emphasizing this. Grammatically correct, but it's not real life English. I am experiencing significant fatigue at this moment. You can say the same thing in 3 different ways and sound more natural. Here's the first option. I'm exhausted. 2 words. I'm exhausted. One is a contraction, but I'm exhausted. Whoo! I am exhausted. You see it, right? Or you can say, I'm beat. This is one that I've never taught you before. I'm beat. B-E-A-T. This literally just means you're extremely tired, you're extremely exhausted, and we say it all the time. I remember growing up hearing my mother say this, "Whoo, I am beat," when she got home from work, working hard, very tired. My dad as well, getting home late. I'm beat. I'm exhausted. This is how you express tiredness using real English. Or you could say, I'm running on empty. I'm running on empty. And this comes from imagine a car, right? You're driving a car and you put gas into your car, unless you have an electric vehicle, but you put gas in your car. But in order for the car to keep going, that gas has to be at a certain level. But when you get on empty, the car will stop working, right? When you are on empty, when you have no energy, you'll stop working. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm running on empty. You get it, right? Excellent. You're so intelligent. So when you're trying to express tiredness, don't use the book English. Use the real life English that native English speakers actually use. Now, our next category, category number 5, is another important category. Making suggestions. I mentioned earlier, a few moments ago, that you are extremely intelligent. You are an individual. You have your own ideas and your own opinions. And the world deserves to hear your thoughts and your ideas. You are going to make suggestions. So in English, let me show you what it sounds like if you're using book English to make a suggestion. I would like to propose that we consider alternative options. Again, grammatically correct, very perfect way of saying it for a professional environment, but when you are having conversations with your friends, this is not the way you want to say it. I would like to propose that we consider alternative options. No. Your friends might look at you and say, oh, okay. Grammatically correct. Here are 3 real English options. Number 1, maybe we should look at other options. Maybe we should look at other options. Or you can say, what if we tried something else? Even as I'm saying it to you, I prepared this lesson, I organized it for you. Even as I'm saying it to you right now, it feels so natural. What if we tried something else? And here's the third option. Let's explore other possibilities. I literally say this when I'm speaking with friends, when we're in a meeting as far as like doing something for church and we're trying to figure out how to help the kids enjoy certain programs more. Hey, let's explore other possibilities. These are real English phrases, real English options when you want to make a suggestion. Again, you don't want to use book English because others will think you don't sound as fluent. I went through this when I was studying Korean, so I want to help you avoid the awkward moments I experienced when I was learning Korean and I was using book Korean. Now, I want us to go to our sixth category, but I do want to remind you, if you want to continue studying with me, this lesson is being brought to you by my course, a course that involves 365 lessons, a lesson for each day of the year, helping you improve your English and start speaking English fluently. Go to speakenglishwithtiffani.com/365plan. Again, speakenglishwithtiffani.com/365plan, and you will be able to study with me on a regular basis. I have lessons for you each and every day of the year to take you to the next level so that you can start speaking English fluently. Now, let's continue to our next category. Category number 6, expressing confusion. Listen, you're going to be in situations in which you don't understand and you want to let the person know that you're speaking to, like, I don't really understand what you're saying. So how can you express confusion? Now, here's the way to express confusion that uses book English. I find myself unable to comprehend the complexity of this situation. Grammatically correct, but we don't speak like that in real life. Instead, here are 3 ways to express confusion like a native English speaker. This is way over my head. Again, this is way over my head. Or you can say, I'm totally lost here. Again, I'm totally lost here. I want you to remember these phrases, remember these examples, these options, because I'm telling you, when you start using them, you'll sound more natural. Here's the third option. I have no clue what's going on. I want to understand, but I have no clue what's going on. When you want to express confusion, use these 3 real English options. Then we have our next category, apologizing. You're a human being. I'm a human being. We are going to make mistakes, right? So when you have to apologize to someone, you want to apologize in a way that they'll understand and receive. You want to use real English. Now, here is the book English way of apologizing. Here we go. I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience I may have caused. Now, this is actually a good way of expressing yourself, saying that you are sorry. It is more of a book English way of saying sorry. It's not wrong. A person will receive it, but again, I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience I may have caused. It's a very long way of saying sorry. Here are 3 better options. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's quick, right? Something has happened. Now, again, it depends on the severity of the situation, the severity of the mistake, right? If maybe, for example, you bumped your friend and you hurt them on accident. Ooh, sorry about that. You don't have to say, I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience I caused by bumping into you. I'm sorry about that. Here's the second option. Ooh, my bad, my bad. Again, these options are for real world situations, not for the office environment. But when you're speaking with your friends and you do something and you want to apologize very quickly, ooh, my bad. This is kind of slang, but it's acceptable. Here's the third option. Sorry for the hassle. Ooh, sorry for the hassle. And this term hassle refers to the inconvenience. I'm sorry, maybe it's causing you a little bit of trouble or it's a burden on you. I'm so sorry for the hassle. These are the 3 options that make you sound more natural and more fluent. Again, when you are apologizing. Category number 8. Again, remember, these categories are important. You want to speak English fluently. Category number 8 is expressing surprise. There are going to be moments that you are surprised, like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in a long time, or oh my goodness, you got this for me. There are going to be moments, my friend, when you need to express surprise. Here is the book English way of expressing surprise. That information comes as quite an unexpected revelation to me. Even saying it, it's so long, so verbose. Book English. 3 options that are much better in order for you to express surprise. Here we go. Wow, I had no idea. Again, wow, I had no idea. This is much more natural. Or you can say, that's news to me. That's news to me. Again, expressing surprise. Here's a third way. You're kidding. You're kidding. Now, I use this a lot. If someone is telling me something and I'm shocked, something that I never thought would happen, you're kidding. What? I had no idea. Again, 3 natural ways, 3 real ways to express surprise and not sound like a book. Remember, I'm emphasizing this because when you sound like a book, people actually don't think your English is as good as it really is. You don't sound as fluent. What about this category? Category number 9, describing food. You know I love some good food. Now, if it's your first time here, my friend, I love good food. I love Thai food. I love Indian food. I love Mexican food. I love all food, but these are my top 3. What about you? When you want to describe food, maybe your favorite food or what you're eating, you don't want to sound like a book. You want to use real English. So here's the way people say or describe food, and it sounds like book English. This culinary preparation is exceptionally delicious. Now, if you're watching this lesson as opposed to listening to it via the podcast, you can even tell that my body language, my facial expression changes when I read the book English version. Why? Because we don't speak like this in real life. This culinary preparation is exceptionally delicious, grammatically correct, but not real English. Here are 3 options that are better. Number 1, this food is amazing. This food is amazing. Very natural, real English. Or you can say, this tastes incredible. This tastes incredible. Third option, this is so good. I'm saying the same thing, but I'm using real English. This is incredible. This is amazing. This is so good. These are the options that will make you sound more natural and more fluent. Category number 10, expressing urgency. There are going to be moments when you need to let someone know, hey, this is urgent. This is happening right now. Please, I need you to come right now. Expressing urgency. Now, here is the book English version. It is imperative that we address this matter with utmost priority. You need to get it out quickly if you're expressing urgency. So 3 options for expressing urgency. Number 1, we need to deal with this right away. We need to deal with this right away. Again, real English. Second option, this can't wait. This can't wait. And our third option, we've got to handle this now. We've got to handle this now. These 3 options, again, they express urgency, but using real English. We've got to handle this now. This can't wait. It's important. Category number 11, asking for opinions. You're going to ask someone for their thoughts. There's going to be a time when you need to know what someone thinks about a situation. Here's the book English. You don't want to say it like this. I would be interested to hear your perspective on this particular issue. Again, grammatically correct. If you say it this way, it's not wrong, but it does sound more like book English. Now, again, if you're in a professional environment or you're asking someone that you highly respect, it's okay to say this. It's okay. But remember, we're talking about real English. You're having conversations with your friends in a very comfortable, relaxed environment. This is not the way you would say that you want their opinion. Here are 3 options. Option number 1, what do you think about this? What are your thoughts? What do you think about this? Option number 2, how do you see this situation? How do you see this situation? And option number 3, what's your take on this? What's your take on this? I'm still asking for the person's opinion, but I'm using 3 options that are real English options. Category number 12. Again, these are categories that come up all the time. Expressing frustration. You are amazing. You're intelligent. You're a human being. So there are going to be moments, though, my friend, when you get frustrated. How can you express this frustration? Now, sounding like a book. This is how you would say it, sounding like a book. This situation is causing me considerable distress and aggravation. You sound like a book. Here are 3 options that are more real life options. This is driving me crazy. This is driving me crazy. I'm expressing frustration. Option number 2, I'm so frustrated with this. I'm so frustrated with this. And option number 3, this is really getting to me. I'm trying to keep my composure. I'm trying to stay calm, but this is really getting to me. These 3 options are more natural, more real, using real life English instead of book English. Category number 13, describing difficulty. There are going to be moments, even on your English journey, my friend, where you experience difficulty. How can you express that in English using real English? Now, book English would have you say this. This task presents numerous challenging obstacles to overcome. This task presents numerous challenging obstacles to overcome. Grammatically correct, but we don't speak like this. Here are 3 other options. 3 options that sound much more natural. This is really tough. This is not easy. This is really tough. Option 2, this is a nightmare to deal with. Again, this is a nightmare to deal with. And option 3, this is no joke. This is no joke. Again, you're describing difficulty. This is going to happen. It might happen to you on a regular basis. Now you have 3 options to express that difficulty and sound like a native English speaker. Category number 14, expressing agreement. A few moments ago, we talked about how to express disagreement. Hey, I don't agree with you on that. Now, how do you express agreement? Here's the way you do it if you were using book English. I concur entirely with your assessment of the circumstances. Grammatically correct. I concur with your assessment of the circumstances, but it's using book English. Here are 3 options. 3 options that are real English options. Option 1, exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. This is a very commonly used expression or option when you're expressing agreement. I use this all the time. That's exactly what I was thinking. Option 2, you hit the nail on the head. Again, you hit the nail on the head. And option 3, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Remember, these options are options that will help you sound more like a native English speaker. Options that will help you sound more fluent. The book English version, again, is grammatically correct, but it won't have you sounding like a native English speaker. Category number 15, describing appearance. When you look at someone, you want to describe how they look, what they look like to you. Here's the book English way. Her physical appearance was remarkably elegant and sophisticated. Good sentence. It reminds you of book English. Again, when you're speaking with your friends, you wouldn't speak like this. Her physical appearance was remarkably elegant and sophisticated. Great sentence. 3 options that sound much more natural. Option 1, she looked absolutely stunning. She looked absolutely stunning. Option 2, she was dressed to the nines. Woo-wee! My sis, she was dressed to the nines. And option 3, she looked like $1,000,000. She was wearing that dress. She looked like $1,000,000. Think about when you want to give a compliment to your friend. She's going out on a date with her husband or a boyfriend, and she's going out and you're saying, girl, you look like $1,000,000. 3 real English options. Category number 16. You're seeing how important it is to understand and know the real English options. Category number 16, expressing doubt. You might be in a situation where you're listening to someone say something that you you don't necessarily believe. You don't necessarily think is true, so you want to express your doubt. Now, here's how you would express doubt the book English way. I harbor serious reservations regarding the feasibility of this proposal. Great sentence, grammatically correct, but it's book English. I harbor serious reservations regarding the feasibility of this proposal. How can you express doubt in 3 different ways and sound more like a native English speaker? Option number 1. I'm not convinced this will work. I'm not convinced this will work. Option 2. I have my doubts about this. I have my doubts about this. I'm telling you, my friend, if you start using these options, people listening to you, people having conversations with you, native English speakers will be impressed with your English. They'll be impressed by how well you're able to express yourself like a native English speaker. Option number 3. This seems pretty far-fetched to me. This is an expression I've never taught you before. Far-fetched. It's a stretch. Hard to believe. This seems far-fetched to me. 3 options for expressing doubt. Category number 17, another great category, declining invitations. Sometimes people will invite you to things, to events, and you just are not going to be able to attend. Maybe you have a prior engagement. Maybe you're doing something with your husband or your wife or your kids. Maybe you just are not feeling well, so you need to decline the invitation. Here's the book English way of declining an invitation. I regret to inform you that I will be unable to attend your gathering. If somebody told me that, again, grammatically correct, but I would say, girl, you could have just said ... I regret to inform you that I will be unable to attend your gathering. It sounds so formal. Book English, here are 3 more natural options. Option number 1, I can't make it, sorry. Simple. I can't make it, sorry, I'm so sorry. Now your body language is important, right? I can't make it, sorry, I wanted to be there. Option 2, I'll have to pass on that. Now again, you want to use these in the right situations. I'll have to pass on that. If someone's inviting you to their wedding and you say, I have to pass on that, that's not the right way to say it. But again, this is an option for declining an invitation. Let's say, for example, they're like, hey, Tiff, do you want to hang out tomorrow night? We're going to go to the movies. Oof, I'm going to have to pass on that. I'm sleepy. I'm tired this weekend, right? In this situation, it's okay. I have to pass on that. Thanks, though. 3rd option. Count me out this time. Listen, next time I'll be in, but count me out this time. 3 options for declining invitations. Again, be very careful when you use them. All right. Category number 18, expressing excitement. Now you can see it's written all over my face if you're watching this lesson. Even if you're listening, you can hear how excited I am about this lesson. Why? I love teaching English. I love helping you on your English journey, improve your English and speak English fluently. But what about you? You're excited about certain things too, right? How can you express your excitement? Now, here's the book English way to express excitement. I am tremendously enthusiastic about this forthcoming opportunity. Never in my life have I expressed excitement in this way. So what are 3 options? 3 options for expressing excitement that are based on real English. Option number 1. I'm psyched about this. Man, I used to say this back in the day a lot. I'm psyched about this. It means I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm psyched about this. Option number 2. I can't wait for this. Now, I said this a few weeks ago. I was going to go on not a trip. They were having a camping trip. Yeah, a camping trip at my church. And I was excited. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for the camping trip. Again, real English. 3rd option. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. Again, expressing excitement using real English. Category number 19. Another great category, describing speed. Now, I will tell you something. It's a secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. Your teacher, I like to drive fast. I do. I don't get tickets. I'm a very good driver. I'm safe. When the moment comes that I need to accelerate, baby, I can accelerate. So I like speed. But let's say for you, maybe you don't drive fast, and that's good. It's good. But maybe you do. And you need to describe speed. So here's the book English way of describing speed. You're learning things about me. Don't miss the story. I have a story for you at the end. All right. The story's not about speed, but it's a good story. All right. So book English. The vehicle was traveling at an excessive rate of velocity. The vehicle was traveling at an excessive rate of velocity. We can say that more natural. 3 different ways. Option number 1. The car was going way too fast. Again, the car was going way too fast. Option number 2. That car was flying down the road. That car was flying down the road. And option 3. They were speeding like crazy. Again, they were speeding like crazy. 3 options saying the same thing, but in a more natural way. Category number 20. Category number 20, making complaints. Listen, it's going to happen. Maybe you don't like the food you ordered at a restaurant. Maybe someone said something, or maybe you're in a class. You're going to want to make a complaint, but you want to sound like a native English speaker. Now, here's the book English way of making a complaint. I wish to formally register my dissatisfaction with the quality of service. Again, grammatically correct, more of a professional way of expressing this. It sounds like book English. 3 options. Option number 1. The service here is terrible. Now, I want to add this caveat. There are going to be moments when you're making complaints where you want to use the book English because it sounds more professional. Let's say, for example, you live in America, right? And you have a problem with your electric bill. You don't necessarily want to say the service here is terrible. I would tell you to say, actually, I wish to let you know that I'm dissatisfied with the quality of the service. In this situation, you want to use the book English. But if you're just having conversations with your friends and you're discussing a situation and making complaints, you can say, the service here is terrible. Maybe at a restaurant, this service here is terrible. And you're talking to your friends. Option number 2, I'm not happy with how this was handled. Now this one, I want to make sure, I hope you've been taking notes the entire lesson, but this one, make sure you write this down. I'm not happy with how this was handled. This is a very good way of expressing yourself, saying that you're not happy, you're making a complaint, but you're not being rude at all. And option number 3, this is not what I expected at all. This is not what I expected at all. Again, 3 good options. The last 2 are my favorite because they still respect the person you're speaking to while also expressing, hey, I'm not happy with this. This is a complaint. Category number 21. Pay attention. Expressing relief. Whew. When you're relieved, how do you express that in English? Now, book English is, I am experiencing considerable relief now that the ordeal has concluded. I am experiencing considerable relief now that the ordeal has concluded. Nope, wouldn't say this. Grammatically correct, wouldn't say it like this. 3 options. 3 real English options. Option number 1. Thank God that's over. God, thank you, it's over. Thank you, Lord, it's over. Expressing relief. Option number 2. Whoo, what a relief that's done. Again, whew, what a relief that's done. And I want you to add the whew when you say it. Don't forget me. Teacher Tiffany taught you that. And option number 3. I'm so glad that's behind us. I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad that's behind us. Again, real English. You don't sound like a book. My friend, I really hope this lesson helped you. Remember, book English will have you sounding less fluent. But my friend, when you start using the real English options you learned today, you'll sound more natural. Don't forget, if you want to join me and continue studying with me, I have a full plan for the entire year, each day a lesson for you. Go to www.speakenglishwithtiffany.com/365 plan. My friend, I'll talk to you in the next lesson. Change my heart, oh God. Do, 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 do. You still there? Ha ha! You know what time it is. Sing it with me. It's story time. Hey, hey, hey. I said it's story time. All right. Now today's story is a more serious story. It's about friendship and realizing a friend has become more like a family member. So, I lived in Korea for 10 years. I was a missionary English teacher, and I also got my master's degree in Korea, and I studied Korean. So my master's degree, you may already know this if you've been with me for a while, but if not, I'll let you know, boo. I got my master's degree in Oriental painting. I love drawing. I love painting. That's my passion outside of teaching you English. So I studied for about 2.5 years in the master's program at Seoul National University in South Korea. And I came to the end of my studies, right? I had created my portfolio, had tons of paintings, but in order to graduate, we had to take an exam. Oh my goodness. When I say the exam was difficult, not just because I'm American, no, even for my Korean friends, my other classmates, it was difficult. So I took the test the first time. Notice I said the first time. And I didn't pass. But there were other Koreans that didn't pass. So I realized, oh, this test is a lot harder than I thought, not just because I'm an American, but just the test in general is very challenging. Now, in order to take the test again, I had to wait 6 months. Very strict process. I said, okay. I was okay. I'm like, hey, you know, you're not necessarily going to pass every time. I was a good student, but the test was hard. So I studied for another 6 months while I was working in South Korea. And I took the test the second time. Now, prior to taking the test the second time, I have many Korean friends, but amongst my groups of Korean friends, there are certain friends that have become like family. And there's one individual, if she ever watches this, hey, Catherine, hey, Only, her name is Catherine. And I'm still close to her. I was really close to her. And, you know, she was praying for me as I was taking the test. And I realized that we were close, but this experience helped me realize even more how important she was to me. So, took the exam the second time. I'm not going to lie to you. It was hard. This time hit different. However, when people ask me how I was, they say, Tiff, what happened? I'm like, well, you know, I didn't pass, but, you know, I'll get it next time. So I kind of, you know, kept a straight face. I was like, hey, you know, it's okay. I'll try again. And everyone would ask me. Some of my friends would ask me, like my roommate, they'd ask me, I'm like, hey, I didn't pass. And it was hard, but I didn't go into detail. So one day I was sitting in the office because I was still working as a teacher while I was studying. And I was sitting in our staff room and I was inputting grades for my students. And Catherine walked into the teacher's lounge. She hadn't seen me since I'd taken the test. So I remember she had been praying for me and I was just typing. Everything was fine. And she said, hey, Tiff. I said, hey. She said, how did things go with the test? Immediately, I burst into tears. It caught me off guard. Immediately, I burst into tears and I just started telling her, I was like, it was so hard. I don't know what I'm doing now. And I just started crying and she was there. She comforted me, but it caught me off guard because remember I had been asked by many different people how I was like, hey, you know, I didn't pass, but you know, God is still good. I'll try again another time. But I realized when she asked me, it was as if my body said, you can be honest. You can let go. This is a safe space. I realized in that moment how special she was to me. Remember, I was living in Korea. My family was in America. I was away from my actual blood, like my relatives' family. They were in America and I was in Korea by myself. Even though I had wonderful friends, my family wasn't in Korea. But in that moment, I realized, oh, she's family. The fact that I was able to open up so quickly, immediately, I realized, there's something different about Catherine. Again, I had a lot of friends and they meant a lot to me, but she really, and I've seen her as my older sister now. Like I have 2 older sisters, but in Korea, in that moment, I realized I really see her as my older sister. I really see her as someone I can trust, I can lean on. And I never forgot that. I will never forget that moment because it was a transition in my mind for our friendship. We were always close, but in my mind, we got even closer because I realized how much I trusted her. And I tell you this story because there may be someone in your life right now who you really appreciate, who's a good friend, who is there for you. But that friend might actually be even more like a family member than you realize. And they might be there for you in a moment that will blow your mind. So Catherine, if you're watching, I truly love you. Thank you for always being there for me. And my friend, to you watching this lesson, I'll talk to you next time.